This is a meditation and a journey where you will go to meet with Nephthys and Isis. Nephthys is the goddess of magic. She is the lady of the house, a powerful invocator and spellcaster. Isis, the goddess of healing, the goddess of restoration, soul retrieval, love. And when these two twin sisters come together, they are indeed at their most powerful. You will now journey to the sacred temple of Filet, known as Isis's temple. However, in ancient times, you were there with Nephthys and Isis. Powerful water ceremonies, rituals were undertaken here. And you were also a powerful priestess of this very temple. It is now time for you to journey to Temple Filet, to Isis, to Nephthys, to remember the truth of your encodements, the truth of who you are. Start to take some nice, long, slow, deep breaths now. Taking your focus to the root chakra. Breathing into the root. Allowing the breath now to rise up through the chakras. Inhaling. Pausing when you get to the crown, and exhale. Allow the breath to just unfold. With each inhalation, scan the body. And that which does not serve on the exhalation, release and let it go. And with your long, slow, rhythmic breaths, allow them to come into a circular breath. Breathing in, slight pause, exhale, pause, breathing in. This is known as the Hathor breathing. Bringing a beautiful pace and rhythm to your breath. And now closing off the back of the throat to bring in the Ujjayi breath, the ocean breath. And as sound now comes to your breath, it takes you deeper and deeper within. Allow this to happen now. You feel your whole body starting to relax now. You feel your energy field starting to also let go of any tension. Letting go, and letting go. In your mind's eye now, see yourself sitting in a felucca, a wooden Egyptian sailboat, and you are gently floating across the river. This is the River Nile, and you are slowly making your way to a destination. The river is peaceful. The water is quite still, but you sense and feel that the magic of this place is deeply woven into your experience, and this is the energy and the frequency that propels your boat forward. For you have been summoned by the goddesses, Nephthys and Isis. There is excitement in your heart and also an air of anticipation. Take some breaths in and out now to adjust to this very powerful place. You now see that you are approaching Temple Filet. This beautiful temple sits in the center as an island. It is surrounded by water, And as you allow your fingertips to fall into the water, you can feel the vibration and the electricity of the coding that sits within the water of the Nile. Everything here is alive. And as you approach Temple Filet, your heart center starts to activate. Your energy, system, and field starts to come online like a remembrance. Your boat gently arrives at the steps of Temple Filet, and you slowly start to walk, one by one, up the steps and into this magnificent temple. And as you stand in the courtyard, you take a moment to take in the beauty of such a place. There is no one else there except you. The only thing that you can hear is the birds, the beautiful chorus of all the birds in the trees. Take a moment to bring in the energy into your heart, and with that you begin to walk, for you have been here many times before. You allow your energy, your heart to guide you, and you walk now to the top of the temple towards the Holy of Holies, which is the most sacred and powerful place of the temple. You walk through a doorway, and there is a huge, magnificent chamber, hieroglyphs, crystals encrusted into the wall. You gently brush your fingers across the wall, across the hieroglyphs, activating further frequency within your being. But then you stop just before entering the Holy of Holies. For there is a very powerful place where you stand in this moment, of which you are very well aware of. There are 2 ley lines that cross here. And as you stand in this spot, you know that this is an activation portal for a stellar gateway. And this is a portal of which you are going to enter into now. You steady yourself. You raise your palms up to the skies. You open your heart and you connect with the cross-section of this ley line. And now you start to chant light language. They are like codes, keys. The energy builds, the light activates, and before you know it, you have activated the Stargate portal, of which you are suddenly transported into another dimension. Allow yourself to be transported now. You are now stood in exactly the same temple, yet this is different. For you now stand in the Star Temple of Temple Filet. This is the highest vibration of Temple Filet. You enter through the earth plane, you are now in the star realms. It is so high in its frequency here. You take in several heart breaths to just realign with the frequencies here. Now enter the temple, just as you did on the earth plane. You arrive now at a very beautiful, majestic doorway. You place your hands on the door. The light language and the symbols through your hands activate this doorway, and there is a deep connection through your frequency and this temple. The doorways open, allowing you access. Walk through. You are absolutely breathtaking because the frequency in here is very golden, very high, and you find that you are in the presence of power, of the highest vibration of love, and you know nothing else except to bow in honor. For before you stands Lady Isis. You are in awe of her power and her presence. There is a deep connection between you and she. She lifts you to your feet. She embraces you. heart-to-heart connection. Activation of your own Isis frequency comes online now. She then communicates to you. We are to leave this chamber. Follow me. And you do. You are walking now down another corridor towards another chamber. This time Isis grants access, but she stands aside and she sends you in first. To your dismay and shock, you walk into a very, very dark chamber. And Isis stands at the doorway and she waits, for you are to go in alone. No fear, trusting, you do exactly that. And as you walk into this very dark chamber, you can feel once more that there is a very powerful presence in here, different to Lady Isis, but powerful nonetheless. Again, you sense the presence of majesty. You bow your head, you place your hands on your heart in honor for what you are feeling right now, or rather the presence of who you are receiving. She speaks. I am Nephthys, Lady of the House. I am the dark Isis, the one unassuming. And you can feel her energy moving around you now. She says to you, fear not of the dark, for this is where your power lies. This is where the power of invocation and spellcasting truly comes from. Everything comes from the darkness, including the light. And with that, Isis enters the room and brings her golden illumination and presence into this dark chamber. The whole place is alit, and you now stand before Isis and Nephthys. They're both smiling, looking deeply into your heart and into your eyes. Welcome, dear sister of ours. They take your hands, and before you know it, you are stood there in a circle, holding hands with Isis and Nephthys. You know what to do. You start to invocate a prayer. Then you invocate light language. Isis and Nephthys now activate a vortex around your feet, which starts to spin in golden energy. And the more you chant, the more the energy rises. And so too does this vortex. Between the three of you powerful goddesses, you are indeed opening up a portal. It is now time for you to journey with Nephthys and Isis and to retrieve the lost memory, the rememberings of your encodements of who you are and what it is to be part of this triple goddess. Open your heart, open your being, trust the divine, for you are divine. And journey into the light now. It is now time to come back through the Stargate portal, back into the Temple of Filet, on the Earth plane. Slowly taking your time now to give thanks to Isis and Nephthys, who are always with you, as you gently start to float back to yourself, walking back to your boat, of which you came in on. Taking a moment or two to then take some more deep breaths and bringing this whole experience and everything that you have so retrieved back into your physical vessel in this now timeline. So take your time to ground this into your being, starting with your Earth Star Chakra. Allow the physical body to land into the current timeline. And when you are ready, dear heart, you may open your eyes and know that all is well.